Hello and welcome to the She Sessions. I'm your host Hadia. I'm joined by my beautiful co-host Miriam and Rufaro. Say hello.
Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello.
And we have a very special guest today, my lovely friend V,
Whoop whoop.
Yvette, I call her V, from the DRC. And she has agreed and accepted to join us today. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
welcome.
V.
Hi.
Yeah. So the reason we invited V, well, it's not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons, is because we want to talk today about interracial dating. And this is going to be kind of a continuation to our topic of dating in general, I would say. And V is in an
Our,
interracial
our
relationship.
listeners love our dating episodes, so
Literally, it's the most listened to episode on
Yeah.
our Spotify. You
I
guys
have a
love
friend that has
things.
listened to it 4 times.
Why?
She
Are
told
you
me
serious?
this.
The
That
whole
one
2
episode,
hours?
she said she's listened to it 4 times.
Why?
God damn, and that time our audio was not even that great. We love you guys from all over
Yeah.
the world. We love y'all.
Yeah, so I just felt like it's more appropriate for us if we're going to talk about interracial dating, since none of us are in an interracial relationship. I think it makes more sense to hear the perspective of someone who that's their life and that's their reality. And yeah, and like without further ado, I'm actually going to give the mic to Rufaro to kind of like start it off.
Let me tell you why Hadia is giving me the mic. Because first of all, I'm the one who was like, guys, let's talk about interracial dating. First of all, second of all, of the three of us, I think I'm the only one who has a bit of erfahrung, a bit of experience in interracial
Exactly.
dating. So Hadia's like, yeah, you kick us off, and I'm like, okay, I will, but. Yeah, V, welcome. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank
And
you
I
for
also
having
would
me.
want to be hearing your perspectives on this one, because I also want to give a disclaimer to anyone listening. Everything that I will be talking about here is based on my experiences and the experiences of people that I know, that I've talked to, that I've had the pleasure of witnessing things going on in their interracial relationships, marriages, etc. Right? So in no way am I saying this is a one size fits all type of situation. But the first thing, guys, that comes to my mind when we talk about this is the whole cultural differences of it all. And this is something I always talk to my friends about when I say because I've had, if you listen to our previous episode, you know by now, I mentioned the one white guy I actually dated, like a proper relationship. I've had a situationship with another white guy. It didn't amount to anything, but this one thing was actually a proper thing that went on for a couple of months. But in all those months, the cultural differences were just so apparent and just so visible, to a point where sometimes I would feel suffocated. I don't want to lie. I would feel like I am not understood. There are certain things I feel like if I was dating a black person from anywhere in the world, there are certain things I wouldn't need to explain to them. But I constantly found myself having to explain to me what seemed like silly little things. For example, this one time he looked at me in utter disgust when I told him I cannot and I do not wash my hair every day, you know? But this is something I would need to explain to someone. And also,
That's interesting. Sorry.
like,
Because was the person German?
yes, the guy I mentioned in the previous episode.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, Okay, let me ask this in a very...
V is
Do
like, I
Germans
can't
take
relate to
daily
this, sorry.
That's where I was also going, right? I was going there. Like, so he looked at me in utter disgust about my hair, me not washing it every day, me not washing it even sometimes, not even every week, right? Because sometimes I wash it once a week, sometimes once in 2 weeks. And that's what I was explaining to him. The look of disgust on his face. And like, andersrum, like, umgekehrt, I can't find the English word. Let's reverse the roles. I looked at him also in utter disgust when he was telling me that dermatologists actually say you're not supposed to shower every day. And actually, when I actually found out for myself that he showers with his palm, like, I have the loofah, I have the glove, I have the whatnot. He didn't even have a little that little towel because apparently you are over exfoliating your skin is what he was telling me. And he proceeded to show me videos of dermatologists actually talking about this. And I was like, absolutely not. You know, so it's the small things, and I'm interested to know, V, if you have these little things, because also there's bigger cultural things that are like just obvious, right? But it's these little things. Do you have certain things that you find yourself having to be like, duh? And sometimes it's not even to your partner, sometimes it's his family, sometimes it's his friends or people around him, you know.
To my husband, to my husband, that's actually pretty chilled, you know. I mean, he's like a very open person, but to his family, girl, I had to explain why do I oil my scalp.
Like,
I had to explain like why do I have when I sit down I cannot have my head on the cushion because I don't want to leave an oil stain or something because I be oiling my scalp now. So yeah, to his family, I had like a lot of explanation to do, like every little thing. Like I have to tell them, yeah, I cannot wash my hair every day because then it dries it out, and oil my scalp because I don't want my hair to dry out and my scalp to be itchy and all that. And yeah, so stuff like that happens. But the most cultural thing I had to explain is just like our cultures. You know, like how I'm gonna say we, because I think Africans would kind of have similarities in the culture
Similarities,
somehow.
yeah.
I mean, it may
yeah.
not be like all, sorry, it may not be like all, but like some things here and there that are like similar, you know? Yeah, I mean, like the big stuff, I had more explanations to do. Like, for example, when I gave birth to my son, it's like, yeah, what do I need a person to be there to help me, you know? And you know,
You
like
mean they
how,
don't do that with each other? I've
no,
actually
they
never experienced
don't.
this.
They just have the headband, I think.
They have just the hair balmer. And also, if your family is nice, then they can be there for you. But then also remember, they always say, yeah, but it's a time for the mom and the child to bond. Meanwhile, me as a Congolese, when you give birth, I remember my younger sister, when she gave birth, she was at my mom's house for 3 months. And that's something I was longing for, like to have that person contact that I could always be, you know, like somebody who would cook for me or who would hit me
Yeah.
with hot water. I don't know if y'all culture be doing hot water
Where?
Yeah, we do.
on the
We
bed.
do.
Okay.
I don't
Let me
know.
explain because they've yeah, so we do hot water in different things. So you do hot water to press the tummy down right
Yeah.
after your, so it's kind of like a massage to
Yeah.
help things go back to normal. But you also do, so I think the zits bath, Germans do it too, everybody does it. So you also do hot
They
water
don't.
for your coochie. So you
They,
kind
they
of
don't be
sit
doing that.
over it.
With like herbs
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, but there was like a
You
lot of.
can have something, but it's more about the heat to help things kind
Oh.
of contract again. So you sit over the hot water, and that can help to. So I think this sit bath, it's called, it's common for maybe everybody, maybe not just Africans, but yeah, we do that as well.
Okay.
So it was like stuff like that that I still have to explain. It's like every little thing I have to explain myself. To my husband, not so much. Cause
But you know, that's the interesting part for me. I have also seen people, like I was saying in the beginning, I have met people and interacted with people where their husbands or their partners in general, they are that open minded. They are with the times, I can say. But this little thing rears its ugly little head somehow. It could be the friends, in your case, the family. So I can now safely say I haven't met one person who has an all-rounder of like everyone understands these things or is willing to understand certain things. But I guess it's just the generational differences, and I in my opinion, I think the most important person in this equation is the partner, because
yeah,
I don't get to spend as much time with the family or the friends as
that's
I
true.
do with you. So if, like, for example, my ex, if you're gonna be looking at me weird because I don't wash my hair every day, it's like, no, I cannot be explaining this every single day. But
Yeah.
ciao, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But what about like, I don't want to phrase this in a way that people will feel some type of way, but to be honest, there are cases where there can be microaggressions and racism in relationships. microaggressions, for example, in my case, right? I tell you I'm from Zimbabwe. I know, Mariam, this is going to rub you a different way because you've expressed this. When I was in this relationship, first of all, I don't want to just sound like I'm shitting on it, right? Because this guy, I don't want to lie to you, he was very attentive. He was very sweet. He was that kind of person where if I would tell you, hey, I like this, like for example, I liked the Raffaello chocolate, literally every week I would have a box of Raffaello chocolates in my apartment. So it wasn't all weird, right? But for the purpose of this episode, I have to kind of focus on the weird stuff. For example, I would tell him, like I told him from the beginning, hey, I'm from Zimbabwe, right? But each time he would reference my home or he would reference stuff to me, it would always be, oh, but you're from Africa. I remember there was this one time when on social media and in media and stuff, there was news of floods that went down in Durban, South Africa, right? I understand it's kind of close to home to Zimbabwe, but the media is specifically saying that floods are happening in Durban, South Africa. Guess what this man does? He comes to me and he's like, all concerned and stuff, genuinely concerned. He's like, I hope your family's okay, guys. For context, Mariam is shaking his head. I told y'all this would happen.
I'm really confused.
This man comes to me, he's like, I hope your family back home is okay, because I've just seen on social media that there were floods in Africa. And I was like, yeah, but like where in Africa? At that time, I hadn't even seen the stuff that there were floods in Durban, right? And I'm like, but like where? And he's like, in South Africa. Isn't that your home? And I'm like, no, it's not. No, absolutely not. It's not. So, and even up until our relationship ended, I don't think it remained in his head that, I think even if now, if you are to meet him and ask him, where was your ex from? He can't tell you shit. So, have you like seen or heard of or experienced some things the way you just like, even like I said with family as well, where you just like, are you trying to rub me off a different way, or you just feel like, you know what, keep testing me, I'm gonna throw hands? I've been there.
Microaggression and stuff like racism, I'll put it on air quote. It's always gonna be there. That's something like I've actually just looked at it and I'm like, you know what? I cannot change everybody, but I can pick my battles. Because like times, I mean, there's like a lot of times. I'll give one explanation. I love you, baby.
She loves you. She loves you, okay?
I love
She
my
loves you.
husband. I just had to put it out there. Because there was one time we were talking, because my husband and I, first when we met, we spoke a lot. And then also I just tried to have the same conversation with his family also, just to see like, okay, are we seeing eye level or we seeing, like what I mean. And one time we were talking about, that was before I actually had my first child, my son. And we were talking about education, like how to educate your children and stuff like that. Like, guys, we Africans, sometimes, they give us some taps on the back. And, and my mom-in-law, a very sweet lady, she went ballistic. She really went crazy. How? And then she did say something, which actually I'll never forget. Hey, mama. And then she's like,
Love you,
yeah,
mommy.
she said, I actually thought you were a modern woman. But the stuff,
Excuse me?
yeah. Guys, y'all chill. She said, because
Ooh, my hands are itching. Sorry, mommy, but
she said, I'm putting my family here.
But these are the things. Like,
She said, I thought you were a modern woman, but the way
okay.
you're talking, you're not modern. And I was lost for words. Till this day, I really don't know
Wow.
how to answer it. So I
Wow.
mean, things like that, they happen. They'll still be happening, but it's just like how you decide to respond to it. I mean, on my case, it
Yeah.
was like I chose not to reply. I chose not to respond because I mean, like this guy had already been in my family. We were already married. They already paid the dowry and stuff like that. So even if I wanted
Wow.
to break it off, it was gonna be like hard. I mean, harder because the family and everything is involved. So yeah, that was like things like that. They'll be throwing jabs. They'll be like here and there dropping things here and there, but it's just like for my sake, it's just like how you take it. Some I
True.
respond, some I don't respond, because like how I said, when I gave birth to my son, I wanted somebody to be there by me to help me and stuff like that. And my sister-in-law, so my older brother's wife, she was coming, and she has three children. So the plan was like she had to come with all her three children. When my mom-in-law heard that, she went crazy.
My
She really went
God.
crazy. She like, you just gave birth. Why would you want to have so many people? Like, and I'm like, it's my culture. And beside that, I also need somebody to be there for me in case, because in Europe, people talk about what's this postpartum depression. That's something that was
You want to
scaring the heck
avoid.
out of me, because when you're at home and you give birth, and I mean at home in Congo, right? And you give birth, you have family around, you have people
Yeah.
who's cooking for you, somebody who's cleaning for
Yeah.
you, somebody carries the baby so that you can sleep and stuff like that. And that
Yeah.
luxury, I feel like because they do not have it here, that's why people go most of the time, again on air quote, into postpartum depression. And I was scared of that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was scared
That
of
is
having
so
postpartum
true.
depression. That was like something.
Yeah.
That's why I really wanted my sister-in-law to come, or somebody to just be there. Even if you're not gonna clean for me or cook for me, but I just need, like, the contact that you
Support.
have. Yeah, the support and the contact that you have with another person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
So
she
like,
eventually come?
pardon?
Your sister-in-law. Did she eventually come to
She
help you?
did come. She did
Okay.
come, but also microaggression also happens on both sides. Because on her side, they were like, yeah, but then you cannot go. She planned to come, stay in my house for like 3 weeks, which I was happy for. But then where she landed, because she landed in France to family members, where she landed, they were also to her, yeah, but you cannot go to a white man house for this long. White people don't like it. So that's also microaggression happening from our side. So it happens both ways, I must say. Because then
True.
she only ended up staying for a week. But I think like that, I cherished that week because it actually helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that week, because I had contact, I had somebody to speak my language with. I had somebody,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
someone outside of my husband and my family-in-law, because I'm with them often. I mean, they're kind of like the only family I have here, and my friends. But then, like, someone other than my husband and his family, I had my family to talk to. Things that only we could relate, things that only we know. Like sometimes you'll be drinking tea and talking about family stuff, dirty laundry and stuff like that. And it
Yeah.
just felt good to have her there. So yeah.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, and I totally get the point where you say like microaggressions can happen from both sides. Honestly, I think even like we can't sit here and pretend like even in our cultures, like some toxic comments or comments that you might find, a little bit uncomfortable can come from families. It's just kind of
Literally.
it is something that does happen. We do go through it, whether you're in an interracial relationship or or not. It's
That's
just
so true.
Mm-hmm.
it does happen. So yeah, and I really like appreciate what you said about choosing your battles, because I think that's such a true term generally in life. You really do have to
Mm-hmm.
choose your battles, or else you're just gonna kind of just you're not gonna win. Yeah.
Because even if you're dating within your culture, you still have to choose your battles sometimes.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
do have
Of course.
problematic in-laws. We have problematic husbands, friends, or wives, friends, whatever. So it's sometimes you do have to choose your battles, and you also have to be wise enough to say, this I will go in knives, guns, everything ablaze. This I'm just gonna sit this one out,
That's true.
because you don't want to wear yourself out, also for your own psyche, because especially with older people, I hate to say this, but sometimes I don't want to say I give them grace, but I kind of give them a little bit of leeway to say, hey, with the way the dynamics of the world just changed, it's kind of like they came from just knowing the society that they knew with only them and people who look like them, to now where society just almost in an instant, society just changed, and here we are, all of us. So as long as you're not blatantly being rude, I I feel like I give them a little bit of grace to say, learn through me then, like in your example, V, I would, if she were my mother-in-law, I'd just be like, yeah, okay, you can learn through me then. Okay. Because also, let's be honest, this is not the generation of social media and stuff. So this is why I go back to the partner for me is who matters the most, because I'm like, you are in this day and age of social media. You are what's stopping you from being woke enough or from being informed enough about certain things, right? So yeah, let's kind of give the older people some leeway, I guess, but not too much, because
Some of them just refuse to learn as well.
literally,
They
yeah,
really
that
refuse
also
to learn.
sucks.
It's crazy. Can I just give an
It's
example?
Sure.
yeah,
busy-
please.
I'm busy washing my laundry here with y'all.
I have two questions that have been like crossing my mind, and I hate to ask because obviously you're not like the spokesperson for interracial dating, but I do have two questions, and I think anybody can answer. The first one is, sorry, I have to to pick my words carefully. So the first one is, when I think about it, and what I think I see, because again, like I've never been in an interracial relationship, but this is what I imagine, and this is what I think I've seen as well. I've been around a lot of people, so a lot of my family, actually, family members are in interracial relationships with Europeans, because there's also that, right? I mean, Hadi and I, we recently went to a wedding where it was interracial, but the other person wasn't European. So I'll say specifically with Europeans, when the comments come, or these types of conversations, so some of the things that you guys were talking about, the thing that's always really difficult for me is it's never seen as other, it's always seen as lesser. And for me, that's always a big problem, right? Because like you said, it's fine if, we have different cultures, which just means my culture is another culture, your culture is another culture. But when I hear the comments, so some of the things you've said, right? So equating me saying we do something differently to you being not educated or not modern, that kind of sounds like I'm looking down on. I'm not sure what the question is. I think for me, it's
I
really,
get you,
it
though.
becomes
It is
really
looking down on.
uncomfortable. Sorry?
It is looking down on the. I mean,
Yeah,
she
so
was
it
looking down
becomes
on.
really uncomfortable, because that's where it's like, for me, I don't find a starting point. A starting point is always, there's two. So same thing with what Rufara was saying. I'm always just going to refer to where you come from as Africa, like even without listening. I'm trying to be with someone that's from a different culture, from a different continent, whatever, but I'm always going to walk into it as I'm better than, and I'm maybe kind of lifting you up or saving you or something weird like that. And I think for me, that's where it becomes very, very, very difficult to, I don't know the word to use. Like, it's not accept or anything, because it's not on me to accept. Everybody's going to live their lives, but I guess to be a part of. I think maybe that's why for me, it's just difficult for me to be a part of, because it's like, we're not even starting from a point of, okay, I'm a girl, you're a boy. We've met, we're different, but we're here, right? Let's learn from each other. It always feels like you're here from Africa, the black culture that's less than mine, but let's see what we're gonna do. So
Let's make it work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, how do you, or do people how do we move past that? Like, for me, that's like a really difficult, I don't know if it's like pride or whatever it is, but there's something, like, for me, that's very difficult for me to kind of move past,
But I think that's
yeah.
in the system, so it's kind of difficult, because you could meet a partner who's like meeting you at par, like, so you're meeting at a certain level. But like I said, if it's not coming from the friends, it's coming from the family. It's gonna come from somewhere. It's coming from the society, from the neighbors, from whomever, right? So it's in the system. So to actually tackle it, I don't think we'll see it in our generation, unfortunately. It's just that deep. Like, we are still considered one way or another as the lesser. And I find this in instances like an aunt of mine, she's married to a German man, and so the African in me, right? If I'm eating meat, certain types of meat, like my chicken, I'm chewing bones sometimes, because I'm just like, that middle part tastes good for me. And he absolutely hates it, to a point where he will actually start throwing tantrums at the dinner table, right? And so sometimes also maybe we cook certain Zimbabwean foods, and you know how in the German language you'd be just like, bah, like that's bah, that's disgusting. And I'm like, how do you call something that someone is eating disgusting? It's coming from a point where you are seeing what you eat as the ish, and anything else that's different is lesser than. So it's so layered and it's so deep. And yeah, to answer your question on tackling it, sad truth, maybe it's not something that's gonna happen anytime soon. But this is why I also like watching. I don't want to lie, I'm actually for interracial relationships. Me personally, based on my experiences, I don't think I could do it anymore, but I'm for it because I feel like this dilution may be the thing that actually accelerates the change that needs to come. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you definitely have a point. It could be. But you were about to tell us something.
Yes,
forgot
V,
what
you were
it
about to
is.
tell us this. You were about to throw
It's
some
probably gonna
some.
go on. It's probably gonna come later on. I forgot what it is.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's all good. That's all good. Okay. Well, I think one thing that we also like talked about a lot in our last dating episode was like online dating. Because I mean, if anyone knows me, knows that I've had the worst.
Hadia is the
experiences
queen of
ever.
online. I'm kidding.
The queen of really bad online, dating
I'm kidding.
experience. So, yeah, but V, I know you met your husband online, and and I actually, you're not my only. Like, I know multiple people actually who met their husbands online. So it does work for some people. So I just kind of want you to tell us, what were the signs for you that your husband is the one and he is, like someone that I can spend the rest of my life with?
Oh, that's a good question. I met my husband online.
Wait,
Shout
what
out to
app?
online.
What app
Okay,
so that
Cupid.
people can know?
On Okay
Oh,
Cupid.
Cupid.
I told Hadi, you
Okay,
gotta get
Cupid.
you Okay Cupid. Girl, you gotta get Okay Cupid.
Oh my God.
That's where I met my
Yeah.
husband. And yeah, I mean, before that, I tried Tinder. I tried many. It was like my summer activity I was doing every summer. I'll just download Tinder or whatever you call it and just go on dates. And I think the point, like when I met, when I met my husband, I just decided, I was like, you know what, I want to date. I knew what I wanted, and I was like, I want to date for marriage. So I'm not gonna be dating just for the sake of dating, just because it's summer and I just want to hang out with somebody. I want to date because I want to have, like, it's about time I have start my life and all that. And yeah, that was like, I think I heard about Okay Cupid was on those Facebook reels. There was a woman, she was from Cameroon, and she also said that she met her husband on OkCupid. That was when I downloaded it. And I was like, okay, let's try this. I wasn't even into it so much. But then I was like, I put it there, and I was like, okay, I wrote what I wanted. I wrote what I wanted in the mind, and then I prayed about it. And every time I would just pray, I'd be like, God, I want my husband to be like this, like this. Like I already read the list that I had every time. And I'll go on dates and be like, if I did not feel peace in my heart, and you're like, okay, this is just another one. So the next one. Then I met my husband and I was at peace. That peace in my heart. My heart was just so peaceful when I met him. It was like everything was just peaceful. I could be myself. And I went back home, prayed about it again. We went on the second date. I was like, yeah, he's the one. I just felt at peace within me.
God was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's like kind of just shows you that just because we had bad experiences, it doesn't mean that everyone
There's
is the
light
same.
somewhere.
Yeah, it's
maybe
like,
my tunnel was dark all through and through, but someone has lighted
yeah,
the
I
end
mean,
of
it's
the tunnel.
just
We'd
not
love
the
to
same.
see it.
It's not the same for everyone, and
Yeah.
yeah, I really love that for you. Yeah.
But anyway, this is such a layered conversation, you guys. And V, we definitely need you. We don't want you. We need you to come back for another
Oh,
one.
that's kind of you to say. Thank you. I like the
Yeah.
time I'm having with you guys.
Because also when you were talking about your pregnancy journey, it's reminded me of, you guys have listened to the episode we did for the first episode of this season by now. I think we actually need V to join us in that kind of conversation where we talk about women's health and stuff. So yeah, I think I speak for everyone and I speak for our listeners as well that we would love to have you again. And
I would love to
it's
come
been
back.
an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you so
got
much.
you,
And also
Jill.
for being like very honest and real. Like I really actually
I
really
swear.
appreciated that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
And to you guys listening, you can't see her obviously, but she's very pretty. She's so pretty.
Yeah, she is so pretty. That's the first thing I
Guys, you're
said.
about to make me
Literally.
blush. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you for having me. I told Hadi, I was like, girl, it's about time because I've been waiting for you to invite me on the podcast.
Girl, Hadia never told us this. You know what? We're about to make a little something.
Yeah, but this just
I'm
means
very,
we're going
very happy.
places. The other day, someone actually asked us if she could come on the podcast, and I felt like, what? Us?
Listen, look at us. I love this for us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
So, wait, Hadia, you gave me the mic for good?
okay, yes, you keep the mic.
Okay. Guys, Hadia just threw the mic to me, but thank you so much, you guys, for listening. This episode has been lovely. I'm sure you can agree. And as you have heard, V has agreed to come back for another one. So
Yeah, we're
definitely
definitely
be on the
gonna have
lookout
one.
for that because we're going to have her soon and very soon. And it's been an absolute pleasure having you, V. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to Spotify, subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. And V, would you like us to find you on social media or are you a privatey?
I'm a private.
Okay, he's a privatey, but let's just say we love her. We love her so much. But yeah, follow us on social media and you will hear from us in our next episode. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.